Hi guys, we're off again. It's our first trip this year.
Oh yes, Van Travels 2023.
Yay.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
We're off to Belmont Hall, which is in Cheshire. And the only drawback is that the forecast is horrendously stormy.
Oh, it is some grey old stuff. So yes, that Welsh scenery.
Yeah, so we hope we're going to make it.
Yes, and not end up floating.
Fingers crossed. It should be interesting going up through central Wales in this weather, but we shall see.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to, as Nikki says, Belmont Hall camping, which actually is it's like a big old manor house. So quite looking forward to having a look at that as well. We're going to do our Downton thing probably.
So talking of Downton Abbey, I mean it's not Downton Abbey, but talking of that, would you be like the Lord and I'd be the lady, or would you be in the kitchen?
Yeah. Scraping out fireplaces, probably we would.
I'd probably be in the kitchen.
Yeah, way too not posh for that. Anyway, enough of this Downton stuff. Yes, the first trip, and of course we're heading elsewhere after that, aren't we?
Yes, we're off to Liverpool to see our lovely daughter Katie.
Yes.
And then we're off to Bowness on Windermere.
Oh yes, looking forward to that. Yeah,
which should be a good film as well, shouldn't it? Because I think there's a little bit of snow up there at the moment.
Oh yes.
So yeah, hopefully we'll make it up there as well.
Yes. Right. Without further ado, we better hit the road. Although been winterizing the van, so let's go and sort a few things out in the van first, and then we'll hit the road.
See you guys.
So part of the winterizing, because we weren't going to use it for 5 or 6 weeks, and because we had that bout of cold weather, I opened up all the taps, so they're all opened up, drained out all the water systems, but we often at the beginning of the year, under there's the fresh water, which we'll have a look at in a sec, but we often about sort of once, twice a year put some Puritabs in the fresh water, put a little bit of water in there for 20-25 litres while we're on the move, and that gives it a good old shake around in the grey water, which is under this side. We also drop in a bit of grey water treatment for the tank and stuff, and again put a little bit in there, and then during the journey it gives it a good old mix around before we dump it out. So when we were winterized, I dropped out our valves are under here for the tanks. We pop this one up, and you can hear that lovely heater going. Look at those vents. Oh, I can just feel that. In fact, another one down there as well. Lovely. Yeah, so what we've got in here, apart from obviously the water pump there, these two outlets there, that gives us the ability to just, if I open that one up, it drops the fresh water down to all bar about the last 10-15 litres, something like that. If you wanted to drive, let's say, minimum quantity of fresh water, just enough for the toilets perhaps and a bit of washing up. But then if you wanted to completely drain down, then this one does the rest of it. So basically I've had those fully opened, closed them up this afternoon, readiness for a little bit of water in there. God, listen to that weather. Wow, glad I'm in here. So close them both up. Grey's open, so I'll shut the grey as well, and then we'll add a bit of water to both, a bit of those treatments, Puritabs to the fresh, and at some stage, not while it's raining, I'll have to disappear out and put about 15-20 litres of fresh in the tanks there. So let's have a mooch around and get to the freshwater tank. That's again under one of our floor coverings. So there, down under there, that's the 120 litre fresh water, and you can see it's absolutely drained right down there. Empty, not a drop in there, so I'll probably drop in fact I think we've got some kicking around in one of the cupboards up here. Normally, yeah, there they are. Some we put in these aqua MIDI tabs, water purifying. It's about 1 tablet per 25 litres, so hopefully somewhere in here, yeah, 4, that'll do, 4 tablets. Then I break them up a bit and lob them down into the tank, before we stick a bit of that fresh in. So let's get that done now. Right, so that's the lob those in there. They're obviously just as it says on the box, of course, just for purifying the water, but we, as you might know if you've seen some of our other films, we use a couple of freshwater containers for the kettle and stuff like that. So so the fact that the freshwater is treated now under here, the freshwater, I've got these two 5-litre thingies there, and that does our kettle and sort of drinking water. So the fact that we got some tablets in the freshwater tank there, having a swill around, obviously helps the water itself. But I'd be interested to know, in fact, in terms of once it's all drained down, what you might add to your freshwater tank just to swill it around and clean it. Any good products you've found over the years you've used, we'd love to hear about that, because of course now would be the time to do it. Not when I'm just about to head off in the van again and need the water, but probably whilst it was in that winter process to do a bit of treatment in it. So let us know in the comments below what product might do our 120 freshwater tank. Let's just make sure that's on tight. Yep. Another vent under there as well. Very nice too. Oof, that's toasty coming through there. Straight onto mix 2 on the heating. Super fast heat up then, which is very nice. There we go. And then grey, actually. Grey is just sort of, the tank itself is under, sort of under here, because you saw the pipe work was obviously just there where the cut-off is, so the actual tank itself is sort of here, and that's why sometimes, because it's obviously right up near the floor level of the van, there's not much depth to it. It means that because we've got the shower sited just here, which when you're showering you take out obviously the carpet bit and this insert here, which just obviously leaves you with the shower under there, the shower tray. It means that the level of the plug hole and the level of the tank are very similar, so if you travel with any sort of quantity of grey water, then there's a danger that it obviously comes back up the plug hole. So A, I put a plug in it which I shove in pretty securely, but B, we always try and run with a literally zero, well preferably zero grey water as we leave site, so that there's no danger of that. I know, and in fact I saw on 1 or 2 of the Moho sites people talking about that, so I had a look at where the grey was underneath compared with where that plug hole is, and it was quite clear we were probably going to suffer with that issue, so I made damn sure that we were empty as empty can be as we were leaving site. I think once we couldn't drain out the grey and did end up with exactly that issue, but fortunately it was only a tiny bit came back up the plug hole, but one to be aware of. In the last few weeks as well, we've just added, while we weren't going anywhere, because of course you never use a shower to shower, do you? No, we actually do, or would do if we had to, but of course we use a lot of campsite facilities. But I've added some of these self-adhesive, great little self-adhesive hooks, which were fantastic. In fact, Wilko, I think they were from. They do a stack of different types of hooks, which they of course are dead cheap, being in Wilko, and it makes it a really good place. And laundry bag as well, makes it a great place for storing all sorts, particularly wet damp coats. Right, out into the cold damp. It stopped raining, but boy, it's been when it does chuck it down today, it's absolutely thrown it down. So I've yanked out the first, my longest electric cable. The other one's connected to the van at the moment, into the garage, and we've got to get the hose out, get a few bits for the hose, keep all my different lengths of hose, tiny little short bit of hose there, slightly bigger bit of hose there, and then this one, which is the longest piece, cassette based, and of course once you've unrolled it once, you can never roll it back up into the same size, so it sits with the remainder of the end in this bowl here, because you always get some draining out, so it's quite a handy place for all the various water valves and hose attachments and goodness knows what that we've got in there. In fact, we'll need that because that is my piece that once you've taken your freshwater cap off, you can see it obviously allows you to clip the hose on that. So we'll just pop that on. There, that's ready to go. And then I need one or two bits to run myself to the tap in the garage. That fits on the tap itself, and that should probably do me. Right, let's get hooked up. I've put I've taken our big 13 kilo gas out, put a second 6 back in that I kept in the garage, so I'll whilst we're in the UK, it's probably safe enough to run with 2 6s, because they, even when you're on the heating and that, they still take quite a long time to run down. So I had a little bit left in one, so we'll use that up first and then find somewhere between Cheshire probably and the lakes to do a swap, if there's any left in these crazy times that we're living in.
Arrived at our campsite, Belmont Camping, not far from Northwich, and grand entrance through. It's very pleasant. Nice lakes. It's an independent campsite, but it had some hard standing, and it's ideal for us. Looks very pleasant, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Oh, Mr. and Mrs. Mallard. Lovely, look at that for a setting. There's the big, looks like Belmont Hall up through the trees there.
Oh yes, just up through the trees.
Yeah.
Just up there somewhere.
Very nice, crikey. You wouldn't be short of orange sauce here. Look at all those ducks.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Bit of fishing as well over there.
Very pleasant.
Oh, and look at these flock of Canada geese.
Oh yes.
Got a load of them.
They look very much at home there, don't they?
Yeah. Lots of very nice lakes for them, isn't there? Look at that.
Oh, lovely setting.
Very nice too.
Yeah. Morning, or should I say afternoon? You said that. Very good impression. Ah, very grand house, isn't it?
Yeah. You know you made it when you got a house that big, that's
Yeah.
for sure. Very nice. Probably been in the family for generations, I bet. Number 2 we're heading for.
Oh, well, we know our pitch to be.
Allocated a pitch already.
Oh, let's hope it is hard standing. And not grassy.
All right, Rosie, looking a bit wrapped up there. Well, I suppose it is January, isn't it? Our first trip out. Look, here we are. We're, it is, there's a bit of sort of gravelly bit under there, but they're doing various renovations around the site. But it does look a nice, it's a really nice, as you saw, a nice run in. All bar about 300 mil managed to reach the electric point without having to get out my 25 metre jobby. Park a bit closer to this side when we get back from the garage tomorrow, so it's a little bit less of a stretch. Water just there on the pitch there, as it is over there, so most of them share water. They've covered them up with plastic bags and little bits of Hessian because of our cold temperatures a couple of weeks ago. But it could be a lot worse, couldn't it? Look at that. What a lovely country outlook. Duck on the menu tonight. Or even goose if we go full. Oh no, I can never manage a whole goose though, to be fair. But a mallard. No, 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 how could I even say such a thing? Right, we're through the gap here, and then I think just to the left, yeah, there we go. Just to the left there, black water. And there's some more of the hard standing sites here, sort of gravel. Lovely spot though, and apparently this building, so I've just heard, is a school. Back to school for you, Res? Yes, a private school, Belmont Hall. And this little gap through to here, this is the access through to the little shower block things, which we've got to have a quick look at. Unisex facilities. Oh, little ironing board there. Some loos, and a little shower. Very nice too. Looks as though it's in part of what was the barn. Keep the door shut, heated in there, very nice too. Yeah, that will do nicely. Well, looking at the numbers, 35 to 41, fair few pitches here. Fair few indeed. And despite these grey clouds, we're going out for a leg stretch, have a look round. The waterproofs are on, in case that grey one attacks us. I think we can go this way. I think we can. Oh yeah, this might be, I think it's down here. Nice setting though, isn't it? Hey?
It is, very nice.
Yeah. Very nice rural setting. I just think with all those trees in leaf in a few months' time, that's really nice. Which, of course, January now, it'll soon be barbecue time. Fantastic. Can tell, you see, Nikki's, it's the first time she's been let out in 2023 in the van, in her place to be. Travels again, not quite Croatia, is it? But what's 2023 bringing? probably be just as good, without a doubt. Out onto the drive. Oh, look at those lovely gates. They are, aren't they? Look at those gates. Just get rid of any van fatigue, although the trip was dead easy really, through those lovely Welsh hills, and then just to hop along the 55 and 56. So not bad at all. I think it was about 170 miles for us from Tenby. But then the A&E Leisure, where we're heading tomorrow for the suspension work, that's only about 2 miles from here. Northwich is the town where A&E Leisure are, which is where we'll be dropping into tomorrow. Look out for that film. So I think we probably do another right here. Hall's back over there somewhere, Belmont Hall. What have we got? Cumberbatch, Northwich, Antrobus, Warrington. That's helped to locate us. And of course Knutsford. Wouldn't believe, would you, just up the road, all those posh cities, Liverpool, Manchester. I guess North Cheshire here is where there are lots of very well paid footballers living as well, North Cheshire. Nice bit of fresh air. That's all the way around, yeah. What have we got? Cransley School. That's what they're using the old Belmont Hall building as. Seek excellence, Belmont Hall. Whoops. Cransley School. Cransley School sounds very smart, doesn't it? Wow. There we go. Round in a circle, couple of miles. Nice little gate lodge. What would have been the gate lodge of Belmont Hall when it was in all its finery before it was a school. Blew the cobwebs out, didn't it?
It certainly did.
Yeah.
Ready for a...
Yes. Tea, yeah. Light fading, bring on those 9-10 p.m. daylight nights.
We're doing an experiment today, aren't we? We bought the
Oh yes, yeah.
air fryer.
Yes.
And we're going to heat up, this is easy.
Yeah.
A cheating, having a ready meal, a curry.
Has to be done.
And you can then try and heat it up in the air fryer.
Yeah, air fryer. A good, it's certainly been absolutely fab at home, so, oh and look. Sure you want a curry tonight? Look.
Or a crispy duck. No, don't say that.
A lot of water as we were coming up through Wales. A lot of those river valleys north of Carmarthen all flooded out into the fields. Fantastic. Always look so good when they land. I'm sure they don't appreciate their evening routine being disturbed by us. Footpath across the field there. There's somebody fishing just over there as well. The A road that we've just turned off, that's quite busy, but certainly the little country roads weren't. In fact, a lot of the traffic coming along here, the other entrance is over the other side here, and that's the entrance to the Cransley Independent School as well. So that was really busy. It's obviously pick-up time, so there was actually a queue going up the drive. Canada geese. I wonder if that's where they spend the night. just settling in for the evening. Bit of grazing. In fact, where do Canada geese sleep? Do they sleep in a field or on a riverbank? Let me know if any of you out there know where a Canada goose sleeps for the night. I guess it would be okay out in that field. You can see it's not busy today. A few dotted about. Some of them look sort of semi-permanent, so that'll certainly do us for a couple of nights there. Let's go and see if we can show you some of the main building, which I think is just through this area. Wow, there's the old manor house. Isn't that grand? Isn't that grand? Now a school. Very nice too. And that was the little sort of toilet shower block. So certainly some diverse use of what would have been a very grand estate. Well, still is a grand estate. Oh yeah, and there's the nose to tail cars coming in and out for the school pickup time. Ah, and a rally field, yeah. Very nice too. Oh yeah, some hook-up points and bits and pieces. Yeah, very nice spot indeed. Certainly when it's a bit drier, it'd be a lovely rally spot, wouldn't it? Oh, I get a nice view of the house coming in that. Lovely old building. Look at those first floor windows, how ornate they are. Home, no doubt, loaded up with their homework, first day back, or at least it was in Wales. I don't know if it's first day back in England. Being, where are we now? The 9th of January. The 9th of January, my sister's birthday as well. Happy birthday, Anne, if you're watching this. Signs of those crazy COVID times. Hand sanitizer on posts. I don't suppose we'd have seen that 3 years ago. Hopefully consigned to the past, albeit there's still a bit hanging about. And there we are, right down in the bottom field. This is definitely a summer spot, this one, all grass pitches. There's a nice little caravan, look at that. Lovely. Yeah, I don't think I'd want to bring Resi the Moho down here. That was the other bit just next to us. There's ours. And putting a bit more gravel and bits and bobs in here, apparently. But still perfectly good grip, enough grip for us there to back onto the pitch there on this rather grey January day. Timed that very well, just starting to drizzle a bit. Whip the thermal screen on. Tucked up for the night, so we don't have to clear any condensation in the morning. Very slightly downhill towards that front left corner, but I think we can manage that for the night. Main thing is the fridge is running all right, which is the only thing that is important, to make sure that's running when we're on a slope. We had once where we loaded the van up on the drive, which is on a slope, and the following morning didn't realise why most of the things that we'd put in the freezer frozen had started to thaw, and that was only when we realised that these fridges, there it is there, these fridges do not like to be on an angle. and don't run. Basically, they run. They're on, but the coolant fluids or the coolant process as well just can't circulate properly. So if you ever get that problem and you find your, get some light on, if you find your freezer or fridge not working well, one thing to check is that you're on level enough ground, and that's not what the problem is. And in fact, you can just see that. I'll show you that in a sec. Air fryer, I just brought that in. I carried it in the garage actually, in the back there, just held in place with a couple of bungees because it's quite a big thing, but it actually fits okay up there. Anyway, let's get my boots off and I'll show you that. Right, let's get some light on the scene. Bit of light. That's better. And yes, bit of light. So yes, you can see it's not. It's one of the double ones which we use at home, but it does fit all right here. And yeah, looking forward to giving that a try. And I guess we're obviously we pay £22 a night here at the site, and so just here for 2 nights, 44 quid total. It obviously included the hookup, but I guess perhaps as sites, as we're all anticipating, perhaps sites start metering electric, then you know, there'll be a toss-up between whether you carried on with the air fryer, which is very quick and efficient, or whether, you know, you went back to gas. But at the moment, as we've paid for the electric, then it gives an alternative that, you know, we can leave the gas for the heating and use the electric that we've paid for, obviously, to run the air fryer, and the fridge obviously is on full electric at the moment rather than the gas setting. So, you know, I guess it swings and roundabouts perhaps if they do start metering. Although, having tested this when we first got it a few months ago, I stuck on one of those plugs just to see that you can put in between the plug and the socket, which then gives you a readout of roughly what it's using per hour, and it was a pretty low amount. They're pretty efficient things despite generating heat. They're not too bad at all. So, but yeah, we'll see how the year goes with metered electric. Must say it wouldn't be a bad idea because it's very easy to run the van on gas. But yeah, we may think again if that of course changes and electric prices are high. But let us know what you think. Let us know if you use your air fryer in the van, and we'll let you know probably at the end of this trip how successful that was. But no reason to doubt that it'll be a good bit of kit to have in the van. And the other advantage of being away without the bikes is that we can drop the bed back down. So a bit more space there in Nikki's boudoir, and definitely it drops down about, I guess, about 10 inches, I suppose, 8-10 inches, something like that. Just see where it drops down at the sides there, where this sort of more flexible side is, that rolls up when you're in the garage. You can see it rolling up as the bed lifts up, but just gives that bit more headroom at the back there, and it's nice, but still usable when it's in its raised position. But down gives you that bit more room. The other thing that I haven't done yet, which I must do, is set up the TV. Haven't stuck the aerial up. It's for us, it's in this cupboard here, the aerial stalk. But let's just see what we got around here. So I use, I guess a lot of you might, but just in case you haven't seen it before, this one called antenna finder. A tap on that, use current GPS position, and there we go. So it tells, you can look for the strongest signal. It gives you sort of in watts the signal, Sutton Coldfield. In fact, there's all the ones in green basically you can choose. So let's have a look, see where Sutton Coldfield is. The compass spins round, so it's telling us that it's literally straight out the back of the van. So I normally stick it up on there so I can see it while I adjust the aerial, and yeah, that's definitely pointing straight out the back of the van, which makes life very easy because it's already set there. And I've if you're always wondering where your aerial is, I worked out that these two rivets here, there's a rivet obviously and it goes all the way through to the other side round the back there. When they are in this position facing straight at me, then the aerial is in a perfect rear facing position. So each quarter turn is a similar, outside is a quarter turn of the aerial. So if the rivets are round this side just here, then you've got the perfect 90-degree away from the van. So yes, after having to climb onto the chair to look out the hatch to see where the aerial was facing, then I thought, no, there must be more to it. And sure enough, those rivets are your perfect guide to which way your aerial's facing. But anyway, let's loosen it off and get it up. And the other thing, there we go, that's up now. The other thing that'll make you smile is I remember, well, just after we got the van, looking out or getting out and noticing that the aerial had actually tipped right over, and it was sort of, instead of being flat and pointing out the back, it was sort of on a cant like that, 45 degrees. And I could not for the life of me work out how it got into that position. I got the ladder outside and went and had a good old explore to see if there was some sort of loose sprocket or loose screw. Of course, what I didn't know till I looked further was that this is what controls it. By rotating this around, it tilts the aerial. So yes, I ended up awarding myself 2 large donkey ears and a tail for being an ass and not realising, or probably not reading the instructions properly, that turning this little black sleeve at the bottom was what angled the aerial. But I've never actually found a site yet that asks for the aerial to go from that to that. I haven't found one yet, but I'm sure you have, guys, so let me know, in fact, if anybody's ever ended up turning their aerial into that way instead of that way. Right, TV's coming on then, so we've set the aerial. Let's just slide it out of it. Signal will retune, so let's hit the AQT, press and hold AQT. It's an Avtex, obviously, TV. And then the app, what did the app tell us? The app told us that it's channels 43, 46, 40, 42, 45, so generally all in the 40s. So let's just see what we get. 45 was one of them, and that looks pretty stable. So let's hit OK, and it will retune itself. So hopefully a good signal. Bit rainy out there still, is it? Sounds like it, yeah. Just in time. Yes, definitely. Yeah, I was just saying that we'd just escaped the worst of that rain. And I guess while we're on the apps, as we've just fired up the gas, let's have a quick check. That was our levelling done. Have a quick look and see what sort of gas levels we've got. Status. Yeah, not too bad. 2k left, so that should certainly do us a night or two or more. But probably as we go up to the Lake District, we'll do a swap on that, because I guess that one's probably going to be down less than a kilogram by the time we've done the next 2 or 3 days. Incidentally, if you wanted to know any more about this Truma app on the phone, then to control the Combi 6E that we've got on board here, then obviously you can do it from the control panel up there, but sometimes, particularly in fact as we were coming back from the walk there, I set the heating to 23 and basically it sent the van a text and switched the heating on sort of 30 minutes before we got here, and put the water on as well. So handy little app. There is a film on the channel from a few months back now, crikey, as when yeah, it's got to be nearly a year ago that we put the film up, but it's got some bits and bobs as to how to connect your phone which to the app, which sitting behind this panel there is the iNet box, which there's a SIM popped in there, and that allows you to talk remotely to the Truma connection. So a good little bit of good little function that I do like that, particularly when you're away from the van.
So we've had a good couple of nights, haven't we, at the Belmont Hall?
It's very nice, isn't it? And you've just seen that sunshine. It's lovely this morning.
It is, yeah. Yeah, the facilities are good. Lovely location, nice and quiet. It's pretty when you wake up in the morning, looking over at the lakes. Yeah, very good sight. Is that
looking over at me in the morning, pretty in the morning, or?
Well, I'm afraid it's both. It's both. It's the lakes and you. Yeah.
Outrageous. Right. Yes, it was really nice. The showers, toilet blocks, very nice.
Just the lakes.
Very, just showers, toilet blocks were nice. God, how do I put up with this? How do I? Right, without further ado, we're on the road. We're of course going to have at least 26 miles into Liverpool City to see what the VB Air suspension's like that we've had fitted here in Northwich by A&E Leisure, and we're obviously looking forward to giving that a try as well. So we'll probably check in with you later, perhaps at the start of our film for the Liverpool Yacht Club, a revisit to see what they've done and what improvements they've made there. So thanks ever so much for watching, guys. Thank you as always for to our new subscribers, and to of course you existing faithful subscribers that are following us. It's lovely to have you along, and we really enjoy your company and your comments. So we'll see you again very soon.
See you soon, guys.
Bye guys.
Bye.